In this video, I'm going to share with you, with my 20 plus years of experience of watching football, studying football, living football, and making footballing predictions, what I think are the safest predictions from the Premier League and La Liga this weekend. In my last video, I shared with you 8 predictions for the Champions League games played in midweek. I did get one of those predictions wrong. However, 7 of those 8 predictions were accurate and very profitable. And this weekend, I hope to go one better. Welcome to Panenka Predictions, and what a weekend we have ahead. There's a reinvigorated Liverpool travelling to face a formidable Brentford. Manchester United take on their bogey side Brighton at Old Trafford. ManCity face a tough ask away at inform Aston Villa. Bournemouth host Nottingham Forest, Arsenal Crystal Palace, plus loads more. And of course we have El Clásico, Real Madrid versus Barcelona. First versus second, the wannabes taking on the champions. What will happen in this game? Stick around to find out. And if you do enjoy this video, or if you want to start making better footballing predictions, then make sure you're subscribed to this channel, and every week I will do my very best to help you do exactly that. Let's get straight into it now, and this week we're kicking off in London with Chelsea taking on Sunderland. Now Chelsea are bang in form. They demolished Ajax in the Champions League. Yes, they played mainly against 10 men for the majority of that game, but they did so while resting a few of their key players on the bench. The youngsters who took their place and started in midweek took their chances very well and got a few goals and played very well for the home team. Pedro Neto and Reece James will probably be back in the starting lineup for this game, and that could possibly mean that Chelsea play even better. Standing in their way is a defiant Sunderland, who, even though they may end up in the relegation battle come the end of the season, they're still a tough team to beat. They've only lost one of their last 7 competitive matches and even managed to beat Wolves in their last game at home, but they face a much tougher task this weekend. I can only see one outcome from this game, and that is Chelsea securing another 3 points in what should be a fairly comfortable home win. However, for my prediction, I'm going to go for Chelsea to score at least 2 goals at home against Sunderland. Our next game is between Manchester United and Brighton. Manchester United beat Liverpool 2-1 at Anfield last weekend, and that followed a 2-0 home win against Sunderland, a loss away at Brentford, and another home win against Chelsea as well. So they are starting to play a little bit better and getting better results, and they'll be confident of being able to keep that run going in this game at home against Brighton. Brighton, however, they will have their own ideas and beliefs coming into this game. They've actually beaten Man U at Old Trafford on their last 3 visits. 3-1, 3-1 and 2-1 before that. Brighton, they're a team that play with no fear, and they've beaten the likes of Manchester City, Chelsea, and Newcastle became their latest victims last weekend. And all those victories for Brighton saw both teams scoring in the game, and Brighton still managing to find the winning goal. And away at Manchester United this weekend, my money is on something very similar playing out. I think Danny Welbeck looks good for a goal against his former club this weekend, but for my prediction between Manchester United and Brighton, I'm going for both teams to score. Brentford versus Liverpool is next on the agenda, and wow, didn't Liverpool put in a tremendous performance in their midweek Champions League game against Eintracht Frankfurt. 5-1 away from home, and with Mo Salah on the bench, that is exactly the kind of performance Liverpool needed right now to turn their form around, but it won't count for much if they don't back it up again in this game, and it won't be easy away against Brentford. Brentford have beaten Aston Villa and Manchester United at home this season. They've drawn against Chelsea as well, and they come into this game fresh off a 2-0 win away against the Hammers. Had this game been played 2 weeks ago, then I'd definitely be giving Brentford a good chance in this one. After the midweek performance by Liverpool though, and yes, I do know it's only one game, but if Liverpool can come even close to replicating that kind of form again, then I think it'll be enough to see them get the win in this game. But Brentford will have other ideas. Either way, for my prediction between Brentford and Liverpool this weekend, I'm going for Liverpool to score 2 goals or more in this game. Our next game is between Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest. Now, I really like Bournemouth so far this season. They've only lost once this season, and that was on the opening day away against Liverpool. They've managed 3 draws, and they've beaten everyone else that they've played. That being said, they haven't really played any of the big teams so far, and Nottingham Forest right now, well, they're not one of the big teams. They've lost their last 4 games on the spin, scoring only 2 goals and conceding a very concerning 9 goals in the process. 3 of those goals were in last week's loss against Chelsea, and 2 more against Newcastle the round before that. They also have a Europa League game against Porto to contend with in midweek, and then they'll have to back it up with this difficult trip away against Bournemouth. I really like Bournemouth to win this game. They've got so much attacking talent in their team. Semenyo, Tavernier, Cliver and Evan Nilsson up front, or Junior, who scored 2 goals last weekend, And Forest, well, in the phase they're in right now, and especially after having to play Porto just a few days before this game, I think it really all points towards a comfortable home win for Bournemouth this weekend. And even though they may not need to score a second goal to get the win in this game, I can still see them scoring more than once in this game. So for my prediction, I'm going to go for Bournemouth to score 2 or more goals at home against Nottingham Forest this weekend. Arsenal are taking on Crystal Palace at home this weekend, and my word, what a stunning second half performance we saw against Atletico Madrid in the Champions League, especially in that short gap of like 10 to 15 minutes when they just kept on attacking and kept on scoring with nearly every attack. It was amazing to watch. And Arsenal right now, they appear to me to be serious contenders on all fronts this season. They've won their last 6 games in all competitions, and I very much like their chances of making it 7 from 7. And this would also mean that Crystal Palace pick up only their second loss of the season so far. That's very impressive from Crystal Palace. They've been very solid all season and have even managed to take a few big scalps along the way. However, in their last game before the international break, they lost 2-1 away against Everton, and they were very lucky to steal a draw with a 90-something minute penalty scored for his hat-trick by Mateta against Bournemouth last weekend. So maybe, just maybe, they're coming a little bit off the boil right now. Plus, they have a Europa League game to play as well, 2 days after Arsenal annihilated Atletico Madrid in the Champions League. So that means they'll have considerably less time to rest and be prepared for this game. And even if they were fully fit, I'd still fancy the Gunners to get the win, even though they might concede a goal in the process. And it's for that reason that in the game between Arsenal and Crystal Palace, I'm going for an Arsenal home win with over 1.5 goals in the game. They're just that good right now. At least that's what I think. What do you think? Do you see this as being a straightforward home win, or will there be a twist in the tale? Drop your predictions down in the comments and let's see what happens. Next up, we have Aston Villa at home against Manchester City. Both these teams come into this game in great form. Aston Villa have won their last 5 games in a row now, beating some respectably good teams in the process. Whether or not Tottenham fit into that category, that's up for debate. But they were Villa's latest victims in the last round of the EPL, losing 2-1 at home to them. Villa have got the attacking likes of Daniel Marlene, Morgan Rogers and Ollie Watkins all in great form right now. And the only thing that may work against them going into this game is that they play in the Europa League on Thursday night and will therefore have 2 days less rest than Manchester City to prepare for this game. Manchester City cruised past Villarreal in their Champions League game in midweek, beat Everton at home by the same scoreline in the EPL before that, and also beat Brentford away the weekend before that. And they've now won 4 out of their last 5 games, and they'll be in no mood to stop that good form against Villa. Interestingly though, Villa have beaten ManCity at home on the last 2 occasions, and they drew the one before that with them, so history shows that this has not been an easy place for ManCity to come and play. But I do slightly favour them in this game. However, they just seem to be grinding out the results and building momentum right now, and the fact as well that they haven't conceded a goal in their last 3 games, it's also a good sign of the team growing together. I could be wrong though, and Aston Villa, regardless of the tired legs, come out and score a few against ManCity and maybe sneak another win. Time will tell. For me, I think Man City might sneak this one though, so for my prediction, I'm sticking with a Man City away win. And now on to the big one, El Clásico, Real Madrid versus Barcelona, first versus second, all to play for, as there always is when these 2 giant teams meet. Now, over the past few days, I think the build-up story to this game has changed quite dramatically. 1 week ago, Barcelona were limping to a 2-1 home win against Girona after 2 successive losses, and Real Madrid were just notching up their 3rd consecutive quite comfortable win and taking the lead in the table. However, after Barcelona's midweek performance against Olympiacos, yes, I know it's only Olympiacos, but they had a few more players available for that game, and the extra quality really told the difference. The likes of Fermin Lopez and Lamine Yamal getting back into their stride, playing with confidence and scoring goals again. And Marcus Rashford as well, he's playing well and adapting to his changing role in the team. Plus, Barcelona also took the chance to substitute quite a few of their key players against Olympiacos to give them extra rest in preparation for this game. Also, maybe Ferran Torres will be available for this game as well. So Barcelona come into this game looking in much better form than they did a few weeks ago. And Madrid, well, they did eventually beat Juventus 1-0 in the end, but it was still a fairly comfortable game for them. Juve nearly scored on a few occasions, but in the end, it was a combination of some Vinicius Junior magic and Jude Bellingham instinct that saw Madrid get the win in the end. It was a fairly laboured one though, and that lack of clinical finishing in that game will not help their confidence as they would have liked coming into this game. But Madrid, they're always confident, and this season they will want to put down a statement against Barcelona and erase the memories of last season's repeated failures and losses against Barcelona. I think it's going to be a great game with amazing quality all over the pitch on both sides. And both sides will be playing to their strengths in this game, which is scoring goals. So for my prediction for this weekend's El Clásico, I'm going for over 2.5 goals and another very convincing Barcelona away win. They are my favourite predictions for this weekend's games from the Premier League and La Liga. Let me know what you think of my predictions and share your own predictions down in the comments. If you like this video or want to make more consistent and accurate footballing predictions, then subscribe to this channel, as every week I'll be sharing with you, with my 20 plus years experience in making footballing predictions, in living football, in following football, in studying football, the very safest predictions across the Premier League and La Liga and the Champions League as well. That is all from me for this week, guys. It's been an amazing week with loads of great games, and the same time next week I'll be back again with you all to preview and predict what is going to happen in the next round of the Premier League and La Liga matches. Have a great weekend, everyone. See you all soon.